Are you ready?
Hey peeps, how's it going? Happy Monday to you guys. Hopefully you guys had a good weekend. Upload streak continues. And we got some interesting rumors, I guess news if you want to call it that, about what is going on with Demar Derozan. It looks like the Spurs are open to trade him because he just doesn't fit. He's not a San Antonio kind of guy. Like, I was surprised that they did that trade, but it was probably the best value they got in return. Plus, they didn't want to ship Kawhi to the West because they know how good Kawhi is. So I understand why they shipped him to the East, to Toronto, because he wanted to go to LA. They sent him to a different country. So I get why the Spurs wanted to send him there. But at the same time, I just didn't like the fit for DeMar DeRozan. So now let me talk about why the Pistons should not do this, because I do not want DeMar DeRozan here. And there's a couple of things. His contract is bad. He's overpaid. He can't shoot threes. I think he shot like 16%. And he didn't hit a three once in the playoff series against the Nuggets. That is going to be a problem with this team, especially since Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond are your top two players. Blake Griffin can shoot threes better than DeRozan. Let me say that again. Blake Griffin can shoot threes better than DeRozan. That is sad. Not knocking Blake Griffin's three-point shooting, because Blake was a monster this year shooting threes. Shot a little too much for my liking. I think he's still too much, but he is more efficient than DeMar DeRozan. Now, at the same time, this is a Dwayne Casey guy. So this is probably something that Dwayne Casey is strongly looking into. But I do not want him here for a few reasons. I mean, look at what Toronto has done without him. They traded him for Kawhi Leonard, and they are about to win the NBA championship. That and firing Dwayne Casey, the only changes he made. But if Dwayne Casey's still there with Kawhi Leonard, they're going to win the championship. I mean, we swept them. Like, it's Dwayne Casey's team. He knows it inside and out. You give him Kawhi Leonard, they're in the exact same predicament. DeMar DeRozan's a choker in big games. They could never get past Cleveland. They always struggled in the playoffs. I mean, even round ones, when they were the first or second seed playing against the guys who barely scratched in there, they barely won those series. They went to the 6-7 games all the time. They were lucky to get out of the second round. And it's mostly because of DeMar DeRozan. Him and Kyle Lowry did not perform well in the playoffs when they played together. Lowry has played a little bit better this year, but he's been super streaky. I'd say this is probably Lowry's best playoff series in Toronto. And I think most of it's DeMar DeRozan, because I feel like with DeMar DeRozan, they just protect the paint. Like what Toronto did to Giannis, to stop Giannis, that's how teams play against DeRozan. Now, in fast break situations, the guy's a monster. I mean, he is a 20-point-per-game scorer who doesn't shoot threes, so that is pretty impressive. But with this team, you need floor spacing. He's just not the right fit. I'd much rather have Terrence Ross. I think Terrence Ross would be a much better fit for the Pistons. Not saying he's as good as DeRozan, but he'd be cheaper, and he can shoot threes, and he can attack the rim. Not saying he's on the same pedestal as DeMar DeRozan, because DeMar DeRozan is a borderline all-star. The only reason he was an all-star, though, is because he was in the East. He didn't make it this year in the West. So you got to take that with a grain of salt. I'm not just straight up bashing DeRozan, because he is a decent player, but he's not as good as everyone thought he was. And I'm actually surprised that the Spurs are looking to trade him a little bit, because I figured that Pop would be on his way out. I mean, I don't know how much longer he's going to want to go. I mean, he's 70 something. How much longer does he want to do? I mean, but when you love the sport of basketball, you want to do it for the rest of your life. And I don't think Pop's going to want to quit until they don't make the playoffs under his regime or get 50 wins, because that streak he's got is insane. It's like almost as good as the Red Wings, when the Red Wings went to the playoffs for 20-some years. But back to DeRozan. He loves Dwayne Casey, and Dwayne Casey loves him. You've seen it when they played each other this year, in Detroit and in San Antonio. That's his guy. He groomed him. He made him an all-star. He made DeRozan a name in the NBA. He helped develop him. And now you have to take the player into that, because a lot of the players have the talent. It's on the coaching staff and the trainers to help them realize that talent. And Dwayne Casey's the man at that. He got this guy a big contract. He made him an all-star. And, he got traded for one of the best players in the league. When you think a team is getting equal value or pretty close to it for one of the best players in the league, I mean, you kind of have to look at that as an accomplishment. Because, they were looking to get a lot in return for Kawhi Leonard, and they got DeRozan and Portal. I don't know how to pronounce the name, but it's something like that. But at the time, you're looking at it like it was an alright trade. Like, you're not gonna get back in return for Kawhi Leonard ever. And I think they did an alright job. They did end up making the playoffs over there in San Antonio, but DeRozan he's not a good performer in the clutch situations. That year, the game, I don't know if you guys watched it. I believe it was in Toronto, because I think they won in San Antonio. But they were up, and Kawhi just stripped the ball away from him in the back. He didn't even cross half court yet, and he stripped him. He's just not a clutch performer. It's been that way his entire career. Now, regular season, he might be good enough to help the Pistons get a higher seed, but it won't be higher than the 4th. I mean, the 4th would be the max. This team still needs a point guard and small forward, and DeRozan's really a 2-guard. DeRozan isn't going to be the guy to help the Pistons in the playoffs. He might help us in the regular season get a higher seeding, but in the playoff time, Blake Griffin is more likely going to have some kind of nagging injury. It might not be as serious as the knee one. You're going to have to rely on Andre Drummond and DeRozan, and I just don't see it clicking. Now, he has had career highs for Dwayne Casey. 1 year he averaged almost 30. I think it was like 27.5 points per game, and he only shot like 30% from 3. He shot like 3 a game and only made 1. But this year he shot like 1 a game and averaged 15. So I think it's fair to say he's really a Dwayne Casey kind of guy. The sad thing is he averaged 20 points this season, and he kind of looked at it as a downfall of season for him. So I don't know. You guys got to take it or leave it. I don't know how you guys are feeling. From what I gathered, everyone's kind of split on this. Like, we either want it or we don't want it. But I do not want this at all. I really don't. I don't think he's a right fit. I don't want to give up a lot for him. I don't think he's worth it. He's not going to help us that much. He might make, like I said, he might make us better in the regular season. But come playoff time or big games in the regular season, he's gonna crumble like a cookie under pressure. It's just not gonna work. It's gonna be a lot of hype. If he does come here, everyone's going to be excited and stoked to have a big 3, but it won't pan out. This is not the answer, and I'm not knocking DeRozan. I hope that he can go somewhere and be effective. There are teams out there I think he can thrive in. Detroit is not one of them. We need floor spacing, we need defense, and he's not the right fit. And in any other case, if our team was built differently, I think maybe. But I just don't see it panning out. Maybe he can go back to Toronto. I don't know. I don't want this. So that's all I got for you guys today. I didn't know it was gonna be this long of a video, but leave it down in the comment section below. Do you guys want DeRozan? Do you not want DeRozan? My brother, who is a Toronto Raptors fan, loves DeRozan, so I'm sure he would want to see him come here. I don't. So, but you guys see my brother talk. He's not really smart. So, Instagram, Twitter links in the description with all DSA members. So be sure to click on all those links, subscribe to them, check them out. Pistons Center Court is this Wednesday on Troxel Sports Talk. So he's in the description. You want to subscribe to him so you don't miss out on that. And then June 20th, we got our draft special for Pistons Center Court, which will also be on Troxels. We're going live about a half hour before the draft, and we'll be breaking down all the picks, talking about all of it. So don't want to miss any of that. So be sure to subscribe to him, hit the notification bell. But that's all I got for you guys. So have a good week. Upload streak continues. Lions hype video coming out tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. And I'll see you peeps in the next one. Peace.